Hey everybody, Rob Cody here, the MLM Solution. Once again, I want to wish everybody a happy new year. Today is January 7th. It's currently, 10:57 and 12 seconds on January 7th. And I want to wish everybody a happy new year. I know it's 7 days into the new year, but it's still young enough that we can say happy new year and get away with it, right? And I hope everybody's having a wonderful first 7 days of this new year. And as we know, hope springs eternal when a new year comes around. And I hope that you guys have great aspirations for your personal life as well as your business life for this year. 21 is greater than 20. And you put those two together, you got 2021. And I'm tickled pink that we have a new year and left that nasty ass 2020 behind us. Let's stay positive. Let's have a positive focus on making this year your best year ever in this business model. That being said, today we're going to have this identifying leaders, guys. That's what you want right there. Identifying your leaders. You want to find out who your leaders are because they are what make your business go. If you don't know how to do that, and look, there's a lot of things we're going to talk about regarding identifying your leaders. The emotional roller coaster comes with that, how you can be let down, how some people will surprise you. There's so many different ways that we're going to be talking about this today. If you don't know how to work with leaders, if you don't know how to identify those leaders, because they are essential to your success, then you want to join us today. Please share our podcast with our fellow network marketers across the globe. You can do that by by typing in hashtag the MLM Solution, hashtag the MLM Solution. That way they can find us on our social media platforms as well as join us as we stream live to our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. All right, I have talked enough. Time for me to get off here. We'll be going live here very shortly. Please join us. Thank you.
Welcome to the MLM Solution Podcast Show, where you'll learn the facts and hear the truth about the network marketing industry. Here's your host, Rob Cody.
Hello, Miss Marie. How are you today?
Good morning, Rob. I'm doing well. How are you doing? Can you believe we are an entire week into the new year already?
I know it. 7 days. And I tell people Happy New Year even to this day. I think
you can get away with that for almost the entire month of January, can't you? And everybody's so happy everyone's so happy to be out of 2020. We could be saying it into March. I don't know.
I know it isn't that the truth. I agree with that assessment completely. And I had a bunch of orders in my other business that I filled recently, and I'm replying to those orders with receipts and stuff. Happy New Year, God bless, Happy New Year, and stuff like that. And like you said, I was thinking to myself as I was typing that, how long am I going to keep doing this? And you're right, it might be the whole month of January. Because you're right. I think a lot of people are like, thank God we got through that.
Yep,
so I totally get it. Yeah. All right, guys, today is a great topic, identifying your leaders. If you guys don't know, we had an episode not long ago in regards to identifying and working with your leaders. And we talked about how you could go into your back office. And we talked about during that episode, and I think we had another episode in addition to that about your back office specifically, because your back office will talk to you. You got to know how to read it. It's telling you a story. And it'll give you direction. If you are not familiar with that, if you don't know what we're talking about, you need to go back and listen to that episode because that is very important and very informative. I can promise you no one else That's talking about that. And no one else trains you on that because your back office does tell a story. It'll identify weak areas, strong areas. It'll identify who's your leaders. It'll identify what the activity is, what pin rank is. I mean, on and on and on, bonuses, all that stuff. The back office is Miss Marie today put what you and I had to shame. I don't know about you. I can't speak for you. But there was a time we didn't even have internet access. That's how primitive it was. We got reports printed out in the mail from the company. Okay, I mean the company.
Well, yeah, and think about that. The access we have today is instantaneous in the back office, right? We get those printed reports from the office. That information was probably a week old by the time we got it already.
And you know what? We had to take great notes, Miss Marie, because if I send somebody up, I knew the value of that. In other words, the volume that was attached to that, the bonus that was attached to that. I had to make, physical notes because of what you just said.
And you remember having to calculate your volume with the abacus?
Yes, absolutely. I used to have to call the company and say, what does because believe it or not, they had computers, but they didn't have the software. They had the software. And I'm sure it was primitive compared to today, but you would just give them your ID number and they would pull it up and say, well, here's what your total is for today. Here's your pin rank or your pin people, you have 2 rubies, 3 emeralds, I mean, you see what I'm saying? I had to, because you're right. I had to keep mine up to date because if I was 100 PV away from going to the next pin rank, I needed to know that, and nowadays, it's instantaneous. You can do it on your phone. You can do it on your tablet. You can do it on anything. And the information they provide in today's back office just dwarfs what we went through. A matter of fact, it dwarfs what companies themselves have back when we were building the business. So you guys are very fortunate and very blessed. Now, this episode's not about the back office, but we tell you that because the back office will help identify your leaders. And in that conversation that we're having right now about your back office, one of the episodes that we had was the back office will help you identify so that you can work with your leaders. Today's episode is about identifying leaders. We're going to be talking about the emotional roller coaster that can happen with that. We're going to be talking about from the moment that you start prospecting, how leaders can identify themselves, but they can fool you at the same time. We want to make you aware of this because, look, here's what happens typically. You come into this business, especially in the new year. Let's say you start your business building activity this year, January 2021. People get excited about the possibilities, and rightfully so. People understand they have to have top-notch people in their business for the most part, Miss Marie. I think they inherently know. They know when they sign up a sharp person. They know that this person has potential. And here's what happens. You will ride an emotional roller coaster that will wear your ass out. You cannot do that. Miss Marie, I always, and maybe this is a possible episode, but I always detached myself. I was unemotional. I did not get attached to the person. I did not get attached to the moment. I did not allow myself to get wrapped up in that. I kept a distance, a very professional approach. Some people would say a cold-hearted approach. I wouldn't say that. I knew that I could not afford to ride that emotional roller coaster. I had enough going on in my life with the military, and to tax myself out emotionally because I thought somebody was going to end up being something they weren't or was not going to be, in my mind, was silly. So I learned to distance myself and accept it for what it was, and that's this, a professional relationship. If we ended up being friends, that was great. But have we done an episode, before I go any further, Miss Marie, on the relationship you should have with your downline? And you really, when you're the sponsor, guys, just to let you know, you're never the peer. Your peers are Miss Marie in another organization. Okay, like Miss Marie and I met in Austin, I believe it was, and she was with one organization, I was with another. She was my peer. Okay. She wasn't in my organization and vice versa. If I was in her organization, she'd be foolish to become friends with me. There's nothing wrong with having a cordial relationship, professional relationship. You do not want to be friends and we can talk about that down the road. Miss Marie, have we done, to your recollection, have we done an episode on that?
Nope, I think we need to add that to the list. We'll talk about that in the not too distant future.
Yeah, because guys, you can destroy your business by allowing these relationships to go too far. So anyway, that's not the purpose of this episode today. With that being said, identifying leaders, let's talk about it. Look, from the moment that you start prospecting, you're going to be meeting people. Your whole purpose, the essence of the business, as we tell you all the time, is whoever has the most leaders wins. Okay, that's the bottom line. You want to have as many leaders in your business as absolutely possible. And considering that the business building process takes as long as it does, your opportunity, your window of opportunity to maximize the financial opportunity this new company is providing you is very small. As we told you, it's 1 to 3 years, maybe 5 years max. If the company is already a year old when you join it, you actually have 4 years max. As Miss Marie and I have identified many times and even shown you in examples, and in the future, I'll do a presentation, an actual presentation on. Here's the thing. If the company's already a year old, you're behind the 8 ball from the get-go. You know, in the next 2 years will fly by, Miss Marie. We have shown that. We have discussed that. Because there's 4 phases to the business building process, phase 1 to phase 4. All right. And typically, if you're going to maximize the opportunity, you may get lucky, and hopefully you do. But most people are going to have to do 2 mini blasts. Your first mini blast is phase 1. Your second mini blast, if you choose to do one, is going to be in phase 3. So with that being said, if you're going to do all 4 phases, and then there's a phase 5, but the phase 5 is where you become that legendary figurehead of your organization, where when you go to a corporate event, a regional event, whatever, people flock to you. You are more of a teacher. You're more of a confidant. You're more of a figurehead that people say, I want to be around Marie. I want to take notes. I want to hear what she has to say. Miss Marie's not on stage. She's there to support the other local leaders or the regional leaders. And she comes in as the legendary figurehead, and that causes a buzz, that causes excitement. Her leaders in that region or locality, they're going to promote the fact that, hey, guess what? I was able to get Miss Marie to come here. You guys come, you're going to be able to meet her firsthand. You can shake her hand, blah, 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 blah. And Miss Marie, that drives excitement. Attendance goes up, excitement goes up, right, Miss Marie? You've seen it. You've been a part of it, right?
Yeah, certainly have. And that's very true. And that comes down the road. But I want to pull back for just a second here, because yesterday we talked about in our episode, training your new partner, right? And one of the things I'm sure you've experienced, I've experienced it, a lot of people that are new in the industry get excited about it. You know, as you're out there presenting the opportunity to people, you're going after those people who rank high on the scale of ambition. That's what we tell people. You're looking for folks who are already successful in whatever they're doing in life already. So they tend to be high achievers, successful, maybe high level corporate executive types. And when they sign up and join your team, become your partner, they may present as being highly successful. They'll tell you all the things they're going to be able to do in this business and what they can do for you and how successful they're going to be. And you get excited about that, right? Because like you said, having leaders in your organization is really what drives the success. So you get excited about it, and then they come into the business, they go through the training, they're saying all the right things, and then crickets. They do absolutely nothing. It's what I call all hat and no cattle. They're all talk and no action. So you think you've gotten this leader, you think you've gotten this great individual into your organization, you're all excited about it, and then 3 weeks into the partnership, you're like, where'd they go?
Exactly.
Where's the activity?
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. And that's the reason why I laid the foundation the way I did, opening up the show, is that, guys, you have to realize that your back office is going to help you identify leaders, but the whole identifying leader starts at the prospecting level. Your first meeting with them, you're using the scale of ambition. She talked about it this way. She talked about it. And you use the scale of ambition for a reason. 5 and above gives you a great chance of sponsoring the type of people that have the characteristics of achievement, meaning that these people already know how to set goals and go after them. They're used to success. They're not afraid of success. They're not afraid of the pressure. They're not afraid of going after what they want. Doesn't guarantee anything. She just gave you an example, and that's true. If you read this book right here, your first year in network marketing, Mark Yarnell talks about that many times, how somebody, I think he sponsored a politician, a very popular politician in his area, I think. I can't remember. And he did it, that politician did exactly what you said. You know, he was talking about all that, never did a thing. Okay.
Well, that shouldn't have been surprising, right? Because politicians always, promise the moon while they're wanting your vote, but then when it's time where the rubber meets the road, it's like, nah, nope.
Yeah, exactly. So the point is that you can sponsor what you consider to be leaders in your mind. You can sponsor people that that you identified on the scale of ambition as a 5 and above, which means leader, and get nothing. Okay. And you might say to yourself, well, why in the world would you even bother with the scale of ambition and the music to the ears message? Because if you work the numbers are going to end up working for you. It works. What we're telling you here is, do not get excited. As I told you in the opening, I detached myself. I realized it was a process. I did not get attached to people. Doesn't mean that I didn't hit it off with certain people. There's certain people you get along with. Miss Marie and I hit it off when we first met. We didn't try and sponsor each other. We respected each other's positions, and we said, hey, you got your path, I got my path. But we both understood that we were go-getters. We both understood our role. We both understood where we were in our professional lives. The thing is that if we weren't committed to what we were doing, maybe we would sponsor one another because of the fact that we knew inherently that we had the characteristics, right, Miss Marie? I knew that you had what it took to be a leader. Hopefully you felt the same way. Now, you pick up on those things as you're around the industry more and more. Didn't mean that I didn't continue to use the scale of ambition. As I told you guys, I filled out the forms because, number one, writing things down, it has a powerful effect in so many ways, which I'm not going to get into here. But I also wanted to have a running record of running into Miss Marie, something happened down the road. Okay. And that way, because I'm not going to store all that in my mind. The wife will get upset at me sometimes and say, well, we just had this discussion 2-3 days ago. Or, hey, we were just over here and met this person 2-3 days ago. She goes, how can you not remember that? And I said, well, if it's not important to me, and not saying the person is not important, but if that moment, that discussion and all that's not important to me, Miss Marie, there's no sense in me storing all that information in my little bitty pea brain. I got limited space in there. I need to just, flush that stuff because it doesn't carry any value. Now, if there's value there, like, hey, I know how to get to the bank. You can put a blindfold on me and I can get to the bank. That's important, right? So the bottom line is that there's certain things I store, certain things I don't. The point is I filled out this information on Miss Marie because I wasn't going to commit that to memory. And that's a reason, and that was one of the reasons. There's many. I learned the value of writing things down, how it makes it concrete, how it makes it real, how it solidifies. There's so many positives that come out of writing things down, regardless of whether I ever talk to Miss Marie again. Now, you're saying, what does that got to do with identifying leaders? I wouldn't have filled out the paperwork if I did not feel that Miss Marie was a leader. Okay. I would have done a scale of ambition. She's a 3, and that'd have been it. Okay. Met her, wasn't impressed, blah. And that was it. But if I was impressed, guess what? And I identified her as a leader, doesn't mean that she's going to be successful. That is certainly not. And Miss Marie, sometimes your leaders don't mesh with the company. company or the product. They may go to another company and explode. You and I may not hit it off. And you'd be like, you know what, this guy's a jerk. I'm not going to work with him. You know what, I'm going to look for another company, another person. And you go someplace else and you explode. You guys, it doesn't, just because you sign somebody up doesn't guarantee anything. Okay. Should you get excited? Well, it's up to you. I certainly did every once in a while, but I also immediately detached myself because I knew it was all about results. It wasn't about the potential. It was about the results. So identifying a leader, as I just said, inherently, Miss Marie and I can meet somebody and say, hey, this person has the characteristics where they could be potentially really successful in this business. Miss Marie, if you've not done that, you'll be out and about and meet somebody, the grocery or, for the first time, talk to them. You say, hey, that's a sharp person. They'd be great for this business. Have you not had that?
Oh, absolutely. And it's those sharp people that catch your attention because you're going after those folks who rank high on the scale of ambition. But depending on how you're generating leads and what you're doing in order to have those, communications to actually even offer the opportunity, every once in a while, you get the exact flip side of it too. You get someone who seems like, man, not that impressive. Maybe they're a 4 or 5 on the scale of ambition, or at least that's where you place them. And they'll come into your organization and they don't say a whole lot necessarily. They may seem a little bit hesitant, tentative in terms of getting engaged. They're, I've experienced it more with like the folks who tend to be super young, like 18 to the early 20s. They don't have a whole lot of industry experience, corporate experience. They haven't been in the workforce very long. Maybe they're still in college and they don't really have that track record. So you're just not sure. It's just like, yeah, great. Join the team. You take them through the training. You don't really have high expectations of them. And all of a sudden you go in that back office and holy cow, look at the volume coming through there. What is going on with this guy? So you can have the exact reverse happen as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like we have a crystal ball. We have tools that help us and definitely keep us on track and help us follow the path that we want towards success. And it's proven to work. But in the end, people are people, and sometimes they're going to surprise you in either direction.
Oh, yeah. I was constantly surprised. I'll be honest with you. I quit even trying to guess because that's what I'm saying. You can be so disappointed and you can be so surprised in the same day. And, once again, I just learned to be detached. And, I think that came from sports because, being an athlete, being in sports, let's just say that if you're playing basketball, you're playing football, one play does not define the game. It's a culmination of plays, right? And you could suck for 3 minutes and the next 3 minutes be game changing. Okay. And you cannot, what you do as an athlete, you don't get wrapped up. Sure, you get excited if you make a great play, but you got to get over that quickly and get back on defense in order to keep the other team from making a great play. Right. So the point is that you can't have that emotional up and down. You've got to have an even keel approach. And you got to say, okay, you know what, that was great, but hey, I got to get right back to my task. Well, it's no different here, guys. You can't attach yourself because if you get on that emotional roller coaster, you're going to wear your butt out. And you're going to say, oh my gosh, this is too much. It's going to burn you out. You're going to say, this is too emotional. I can't do this, because look, you're going to have more disappointments than you are enjoyments. The enjoyments will come down the road. The hard part is getting through the initial disappointments, right, Miss Marie? Because when you start out, when you sign people up and you get excited, okay, and this is the problem with the emotional roller coaster. You get excited when you first start, Miss Marie. Oh, I signed up a first person. Your first person is always special to you, always will be. But the thing is that by the time you get to the 10th person, you're saying, okay, I'm getting used to this. I now know what I'm doing and blah, blah, blah. And it becomes a routine. By the time you get to your 20th and 25th person, you're like, okay, this is my job. This is what I do. Okay. And that's kind of a good thing. But here's the thing. It's getting through that initial 10 people that can be the most emotional because you're excited. You're excited about the potential. You think, hey, I signed a lot of people up on the 5 and above on the ambition scale. And as Miss Marie said, all you hear is crickets. And you say, wow, I signed 10 people at 5 and above. Well, that skill and mission must not work. No, it is working. Well, how come I signed these people up and they're not doing anything? A third will do it now, a third will do it later, a third will never do it. And it doesn't mean just because I say a third will do it now, a third will do it later, and a third will do it, I'll never do it. Guess what? The first 10 people you sign up could be in the last third. In other words, the third that'll never do it. Okay. There's no guarantee that it's going to work in that order. A third will do it now, a third will do it later. Right, Miss Marie?
Well, yeah, and it's part of the network marketing industry format as well. We've talked before about the fact that, you know, if people are in a position where they're looking for an immediate impact on their finances, a network marketing opportunity is probably not the way to go. They need to get a job where, you know, you're going to work X number of hours and you'll receive X amount of money in return for that time that you've traded, right? Whereas in this business model, there needs to be a certain amount of patience, because it takes a little bit of time to start building and getting an actual income that's significant coming in. Well, you have to have the same patience when it comes to identifying your leaders, because people aren't going to sign up into your organization. You're not going to know the same day based on their performance whether you've truly have a leader or not. It's going to take a little while to see how things play out, the effort they put in, how it translates into volume being moved in the organization, and what shows up in the back office. So you have to have you have to be a little bit reserved with your quote unquote judgments, not that you're judging the people, but, you know, gauging the amount of activity that's going to come through from that person and the team that they're going to build. So, you know, patience is definitely a virtue in this organization, but at the same time, it's still all about speed and urgency, right? You want to keep moving. You want to get that momentum going. You want people doing those consistent and correct business building activities.
Yeah. Before I forget, here's a subject, because sometimes when you talk, I go, oh, there it is. Quick success and fast cash.
Okay.
Don't fall for it, because what you just said is imperative. People will sell, people that are recruiting will sell quick success and fast cash to those that need it the most. And Miss Marie's right, get a job. You know, we would love to be able to promote this opportunity to you in a way where your hopes could be fulfilled. But to be honest with you, it's all about timing. It's all about catching lightning in a bottle. I wish I could tell you as a blanket statement that you could come in and within the first 90 days, make all the money that you need to turn your life around. It is certainly possible. But there again, it's a numbers game, and it's lightning in a bottle. And all we can do is teach you the basics and then let the chips fall where they may. Every person is different. So we'll do an episode on that. It's really a very important subject that we need to talk about. So let me give you an overall view we're talking about here. Let me take it from beginning to end and identifying leaders. Look, we talk about Miss Marie and I having the ability to go out, even today, meet someone and say, hey, that person has the characteristics of being really good in this business. Doesn't mean anything. Okay, it means that they have leadership qualities that we pick up on that we know will work in this business model. Okay, but we would have to meet with them. We'd have to have that initial meeting. That's when the prospecting starts. And look, there's a difference between prospecting and recruiting. And there's another subject there, Miss Marie. Prospecting is totally different than recruiting. Prospecting is out there looking for the people that have the potential to be really good in this business. Recruiting is once you identify that person, you start the recruiting process. In other words, meeting with them the initial time, whether it's at Starbucks, Zoom meeting, whatever. Okay, that's when the recruiting starts, because now you're putting forward what you have to offer. Okay, it's no different than recruiting a basketball kid out of high school, a football kid out of high school, a gymnast out of high school. Schools go out, recruit these kids. The schools put their best foot forward. Hey, this is what we got to offer. Well, it's no different here. Okay, so there's a big difference between prospecting and recruiting. But Miss Marie and I, if we were in the business today, we would be out prospecting. What does that mean? We have our antennas up. when we meet someone, they got the qualities I'm looking for. They have the qualities that are persistently and consistently proven that leaders have those kind of qualities in this business. And what do? We write them down on our prospect list, okay, as a potential leader. Because Miss Marie and I don't recruit anybody that we don't feel can be a leader. That's stupid. That's silly. Why would recruit anybody if they don't have potential? Okay, I'm not going to recruit somebody that can't dribble a ball. A basketball. What's that? Okay, well, I want you to be on our basketball team at the college level. I don't even know what basketball is. I mean, why would I do that? Okay, there's no potential there, right, Ms. Marine? So
No.
and the bottom line is, her and I know when we identify a leader, we're going to put them down because we feel they have the potential to be something special in this business model. Now, part of that identifying them as a leader is meeting with them the first time, whether, once again, it's Starbucks, Zoom, whatever. Okay. And what are we going to do? Deliver the music to the ears message. We're going to do the interview questions to find out, what kind of leader they are, how many people do they lead, how long have they been with the company, what is their position with the company, how many people work for them. We're asking very pointed questions to get a feel for how large of a leader they are in the job they have right now. Now, it doesn't guarantee anything, but what it does, it helps us identify them on the scale of ambition so that as we continue to work with them, we know what they've accomplished and what they're capable of. Okay, if they lead a large group of people, guess what? That means if they have a large organization, they have a real chance of managing that organization correctly. Okay, they know how to work with people, right, Miss Marie? If you're a leader of a lot of people, you have HR issues, you have people issues, and they know how to deal with those things. So that rates high on the scale of ambition. What are we doing? Identifying a leader. Doesn't guarantee success in this business model, but we are identifying a leader, making a running note on them, because you never know where that's going to go. They may call you one day. If they don't take any action, they may call you 6 months down the road and say, hey, this is so-and-so. I need to make this business go. Can we talk? Okay. And then that way I can pull their file out of my file cabinet and see where they are as a leader. All I did is identify them as a leader. Now, let's say they do take off and they start building a business. Okay. Now, here's where the back office comes in. I'm not going to get deep in the back office, because if they are working, and I don't care if they're going about it slowly and methodically, although they should, in order to create that speed and urgency, they're going to have to go faster. But everybody has a different speed because we don't know what's going on in their life. So we have to respect that. But when I log into the back office, if I see activity where they're signing up 2 or 3 people in a month, okay, hopefully you want that in a week. But if they're doing it in a month, that, hey, they're alive, they're breathing, they're out there doing it. And I see volume increase, but I don't see any pin rank yet because their business isn't big enough yet for that to happen. But I do see progress. Guess what? That is a leader. Now, are they a big leader? Are they a number 8 or number 9? No, they're not. Right now, they're about a 5 or a 6. Okay. But they are active. Okay. They're getting their feet wet. They're moving ahead. So when I log in my back office, I see that they're a leader. And because you're the number of leaders in your business on your initial phase 1 push, you may only have 3, maybe 5 or 7 leaders total in your business in the beginning. You got to realize everything. We're talking about that money ball, right, Miss Marie? It starts out this small and it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. The more leaders that you sponsor and the more leaders that take action, the bigger your money ball gets. And they help you push that money ball up that hill. Well, here's the thing. You never know. The 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. You never know if that person that's only doing 2 or 3 people a month may end up one day in all of a sudden they're signing up 10, 11, 12 people a month. Okay. So you acknowledge their 2 or 3, knowing there's a potential for 10 and 12 down the road. Now, you say, what is that? Why is that important? Because when I log into the back office, if I see this person doing 2 or 3, I'm going to do notes in their file saying, hey, January 2021, they signed up 3 people this month, and here was their volume. And that's all I'm going to do. Okay? Because I know that this person is taking action. They may take no action for the rest of the year. Okay. But if they get back with me in June after being inactive. They had a January where they signed up 3 people, and Miss Marie, I'm sure you've had this happen. And then all of a sudden they disappear until June, and they get back with you and they say, hey, I really screwed up. I really want to make this business go. I don't know if you know, but I signed up 2 or 3 people in January. Guess what? I could pull their file out because I can't keep that to memory. And I refresh my memory and say, oh, this person has real potential. They did sign people up. They did create some volume. There's real potential here. Okay. And that doesn't help push over the edge for me at their file. But what it does, it helps me to refresh myself, who I'm talking to and what happened in their business. Okay. And that way, when we have that discussion, I can say, okay, and we can be more productive. And we can start from June and hopefully make the rest of the year really great. Now, what is that all about? Guys, I used the initial meeting when I met them the first time during the recruiting process, all the way up to logging into my back office. All of that I just covered is identifying a leader. And if you notice, I never got emotionally attached that whole time. I remained the professional that I need to be in order. Because look, if you ride the emotional roller coaster, you're not going to be any good for Miss Marie when she needs you emotionally. You may end up being spent by 7, 8 o'clock at night. And Miss Marie say, look, the only time I got a chance to talk is at 9 o'clock at night. And you may be wore out. And it may come across in that phone call, like Miss Marie saying herself, my gosh, has he got any life to him? I mean, what in the world? This guy's a leader of people. Right, Miss Marie? If you had a leader like that was so monotone and so dead.
Yeah. Not the most colorful people in the world, but again, that's where we say people can surprise you.
Yes. Did I do a good job laying out, identifying the leader? We didn't want to get in the back office. We're not talking about working with that leader. We're talking about what you need to do to identify leaders and not get emotionally attached to their potential. Your job is just to identify those leaders and let them be what they're going to be. You train them and you let them go, right, Miss Marie? Just like raising a child, they reach 18 years old, you pat them on the butt and say, I'm here for you. It's time for you to go out and make a difference in the world for yourself. That's what you're doing here. You sponsor them, you train them, you pat them on the butt and say, I'm here for you. If you want to do 3 ways, if you want to do this, I'm here for you. I'll help you. But then after that, you're on your own, right?
Yep. There you go. You gotta push them out of the nest, let them fly on their own.
That's right. And the more you do that, the more the numbers of network marketing are going to work for you instead of against you. We constantly bring that up. You're going to hear it from us all the time. Guys, you cannot beat the numbers of network marketing. Okay. And identifying leaders is a useless game if you're not doing the numbers, right, Miss Marie? If you don't sponsor enough people, you're not going to have leaders. You're wasting your time logging into the back office. If all you do is sign up 10 people in 1 year, guess what? You don't have a business. And you're wasting your time logging into the back office. Because guess what? Even if you have 1 person out of 10, let's say that 1 person out of 10 built a multi-million-dollar business, and you were lucky that you were able to do that. Do you realize you're not going to make any money? Because most comp plans are not going to reward you, because companies caught on to that years ago. Okay, that they're not going to allow you to be rewarded because you sponsored 10 measly people, because that's not profitable to a company, right, Miss Marie? I mean, it's not going to work. They need to make money too. And they realized that certain people were getting lucky, catching lightning in a bottle, if you will. And they would sponsor 10 people, and out of that 10, 1 would become a superstar. And this person was making money hand over fist. Well, guess what? There wasn't any motivation, Miss Marie, to go out and sponsor more people because they were already making a lot of money, right? So companies caught on to that, and they said, hey, you've got to be this pin rank, and you've got to have this much volume in your business, and you've got to sponsor, you got to have this many leaders, right, Miss Marie? You've seen those comp plans like that. And that's how that stuff came about, to make sure that you get your butt out there and build a business, and then you'll be rewarded for that 1 superstar that you got in your business, right, Ms. Marie?
Yeah, and we did talk about that in more detail in another episode where we talked about compensation plans, the way they're structured, and the fact that you have to have balance between legs in your business in order to get paid, right?
That's right. Can't cheat the system. And that's exactly the reason why the conversation came up. You can't cheat the system. You can't cheat the numbers. The numbers are not going to work for you. So sponsoring 10 people in your first month is awesome. But guess what? It's not going to do, you didn't work the numbers. And you said, well, what's that got to do with leaders? Look, you can identify leaders all day long. You can sign up nothing but leaders all day long. But if you only sign up 10 people and they're all 5 and above, let's say they're 7 and above on the scale of ambition. If you only sponsor 10, you're not going to reap the rewards. The numbers are against you. So what do? You get out there, you sponsor as many people as you possibly can in a 90-day time frame. And then you, guess what? You log into your back office and the activity identifies. And that's the ultimate judge, right, Miss Marie? It's activity. Mm-hmm. It is the results. When you log into that back office, not only is it fun and exciting, it's probably the most exciting thing that you can do once you get your business going. You look forward to it. I mean, I knew people, Miss Marie, that their spouses had to ban them from the computer because they were constantly hitting refresh. They'd sit in front of their back office and hit refresh because they wanted to see the new numbers, And
so
that can be
monitoring your back office is not part of the consistent and correct business building activities. So we always say, it's taking the action and building your business that really needs to happen. And the same thing is true of your partners in your organization. That's how your leaders are going to self-identify. They are going to be taking action. You're going to see the activity through the volume coming through the back office. And that really is the bottom line, right? That is it. Again, in many aspects, this is information you're not necessarily going to hear anywhere else. Other people aren't talking about this. We talk about the good, the bad, and sometimes the ugly. And part of it is understanding the engine that really makes your business go, and identifying leaders is really part of it. So, if you like what we're sharing with you, if you understand the points that we're making, please, give us that thumbs up. Be sure to like, comment, share across our various social media platforms. You can find us there using hashtag #TheMLMSolution. And check out our YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe to that and then register for notifications. You click on that bell twice. You'll know when we upload new content or when we have our live show going on. You can join us. We always enjoy that when it happens. And then, of course, visit our website, themlmsolution.net. That's themlmsolution.net. And one of the valuable things you'll find there, out of many, is we have some free gifts available for you to download. The 4 critical mistakes that most network marketers make and how to avoid them. That's probably the biggest one. I'm not sure we're going to keep these up for free very much longer because they are very high value products that have been produced, along with the 5 simple steps to network marketing success. And then you also have 0 to Network Marketing Hero. Each of those downloads includes the ebook, an audio, and a video file. So great amount of value. Again, that's themlmsolution.net. Pop on over there, check that out, download that information, and of course, share it with your team, because again, this business is all about the duplication. So as you use this valuable information, you start implementing it in what you're doing, be sure to share that with your team so they can do the same.
That's right. That's right. Well done, Miss Marie. I think that brings us to a close. Guys, this was an important episode for the following reason, then we're out of here. Don't ride the emotional roller coaster and wear yourself out. You got enough going on in your life. Riding an emotional roller coaster not only will wear you out emotionally, but it will add additional stress to your already stressful life. Identifying your leaders is important on the scale of ambition from the initial meeting. From that point on, they identify themselves through their activity, and you can see the activity. They can't hide from you. You can see the activity by logging into the back office and realizing that the cream will rise to the top. The cream, almost in every industry, is 2 to 3%ers. Okay, it's the reason why you hear all these things, the 2 to 3% club, the elite club, whatever they call themselves. When you do the numbers, right, Miss Marie, we're not going to drag this on. We're going to get off. It is the 2 to 3%ers. You must realize the numbers never change. You have to make a conscious decision. You're going to be a part of the 2 to 3% club. If you're going to do that, you got to take the right steps. We teach you that with the CCBBA. If you do the CCBBA and you add your own unique talents, abilities, and commitment to the CCBBA, guess what? You can join. There's a real high chance that you can join the 2 to 3% club and become a leader yourself. Right, Miss Marie?
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Tomorrow is Friday, Freelance Friday, episode number 35. It's hard to believe it's number 35. My gosh, when we reach 50, we'll realize 52. Excuse me. We will realize that we'll be doing that for 1 year. That is a running calendar for us, the Freelance Friday. It's almost scary, but we're well on our way, Miss Marie, to making it a year. 17 more episodes, which means 17 more weeks. It'll be a year. We got to find something to make that special. We'll have to figure that out. We may do it from a airliner. Maybe Miss Marie will be on a cruise ship and I'll be on a plane, and we'll do it from there. How's that? Or maybe she'll be on a ski slope. How's that? And I'll be in the ocean. Maybe something like that.
17 weeks from now, I think ski season's going to be over. So maybe a beach.
Well, we can have some fake snow put up there for you. We'll have to see how we work it out. Anyway, guys, we're going to hop off of here. God bless. We'll see you tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you guys so much for everything. We shall see you guys tomorrow. Don't forget, join us, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take care. God bless.
Thank you for listening to the MLM Solution Podcast. For more info, visit our website, themlmsolution.net. Please follow us on the following platforms: Facebook, YouTube, etc. And share this podcast with our fellow network marketers around the world by hitting the share button on our various platforms.